Collective. Happy Sunday morning. I hope you're doing well today. Welcome into the channel. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is a look at the energy coming up for this next week, November 24th through the 30th. So we'll look at it via tarot astrology, any channeled messages that come through. Let's get into it. Happy day, happy new week. We have just entered into Sagittarius season. So this is a great energy. It's really expansive. It's really hopeful for the future, for what we're kind of trying to manifest, goals, aspirations that you have in your life right now. We're starting to see a lot of that change and transition that has been happening wrap up, right? Things are starting to culminate. Loose ends are being tied up, etc. Or you can feel those spaces where there is finality happening, closing out of certain cycles with people, situations. And, you know, to some capacity that happens. We're at the end of the year. We're entering into the holiday season. Things get super crazy, super busy, chaotic. It is Sagittarius season, like I said, which is all about expansion and growth. And right now, there's a lot in retrograde. So I feel like it's planning, preparing for what is to come, but being really cautious, conscious of your action steps. Excuse me. What you're agreeing to, who you're partnering up with, especially, well, just in general, because we're still weeding out old patterns, still weeding out a little bit of resistance to change, to new ways of being, new ways of showing up in our life. So just keep that in mind moving forward. We'll start with an energy cleansing just to set the tone. I finally got my sage in, thank goodness. The Palo Santo has been acting wild lately. So this should be a little bit more tame. Hopefully just cleanse out just any lower vibration, negative energy, however you want to see it, however it resonates with you. It's a little blessing for you, a little blessing for me, and a cleansing and a purge, just so we are grounded, centered, and really receiving those messages with clarity. It's also a good time to set your own intention. If you want to hear specific messages from spirit, questions answered, be open to receive. That's such a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I use tarot astrology mediumship. If there's something specific you want me to look at in your life, the energy around that, or if you're needing a little grounding, rebalancing, I do pranic energy healing and Ayurvedic wellness consultations. It really helps us align with ourselves, that beautiful version of who we are, so we can make choices out of happiness, out of fulfillment, be the best version, right? A little cheesy, but true. Okay, collective. Let's get into it. Now it's on fire. All right. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm, cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama Love, Amen. All right, let's get into it. So, beginning of the week, there is a little bit of tension that's happening. We are going to see Mercury go into retrograde tomorrow, Monday, the 25th. So it's bringing up a little just kind of annoyances, frustrations is what I'm hearing. It's not necessarily the worst energy ever, but it's enough to, be annoyed. Simply put, there's a lot of analyzation happening. Okay, so we just moved into Sagittarius. It gives us hope, right? Like potential, possibility, expansion, growth. But the moon is in Virgo. So that is forcing us to analyze the practicality behind something. And I feel like there still is a little bit of disconnect in the emotional world. Emotions are still heightened, not as high as they have been. We're seeing that fire element enliven, which I love because it's giving us a little more drive, ambition, etc. We just want to make sure that we're not, the air element is severely diminished right now. So that can definitely be a potential for not thinking things through, right? Kind of using that fire, that earth energy to like push and make things happen when it might not be the right time. And that's really what retrogrades are all about. That is also our overarching energy for the week, healing. Okay, so healing really just means taking it slow, being kind, gentle with yourself, giving yourself a little bit more rest, restoration, nourishment, etc. And in healthy ways in an ideal world, right? Like being kind to yourself in a good way, not overindulgence. It's really starting to, it's needed, I think, right now because we're moving into this time where there is expansion. Mercury will be in retrograde till mid-month. We'll have like about a week until Sagittarius season is over. So using that energy that once retrograde lifts, it's going to give you, you know, a lot of, like I said, it's going to open up the floodgates. It's going to give you that momentum. And right now, what I'm trying to get at is there's a need to clear the way. There's a need to clear the way because you need to connect with your intuition a little bit more. I feel like you have these surface ideas, surface values of how you want things to look, but there's also some underlying fear, anxiety, and you don't want to be blindsided is what I'm hearing. And if we're not being honest about how we feel, how we think about certain situations that have happened, especially the ones that have been a little bit messy, more tricky, etc., it can kind of mask some of our intuition, right? What we need to sense, what we need to feel. And that to me is where beginning of the week, some of this frustration and annoyance is coming in because, yeah, like we want things to look different. We want them to feel different, but we're still seeing a lot of stagnation. There's this desire to express yourself. I really love this energy for you. That is also what fire energy is about. It's about getting creative, having fun, you know, engaging in new things that maybe you wouldn't normally do. And I feel like some of this is wanting to come out from within you, whether it's you expressing yourself to someone specific. We'll see how it plays out with the tarot. Or if it's just more like expressing your innate creativity, like I was talking about earlier. That part of you that needs to be a little bit more creative and open and sensual with the world around you. The nice thing about the holidays is that we get extra time off, or it feels maybe a little, as much as there's a bunch of stress, 100%, you know, there's a little more freedom. And so I feel like this expression is really going to work in your favor as long as your expectations are not amiss. Because I think there still is some limitation, right? There is still a call to slow down, to not move too quickly this week, step by step, day by day, right? Again, listening, connecting with, or even cultivating time to connect with your intuition, meaning take a couple minutes to slow down, you know? When we feel limited, when we feel restricted, which is how the beginning of the week looks, it also makes us shut down. It also makes us disconnect. Yeah, but you're really chomping at the bit. I love this. For victory, for success. You're starting to feel really good. You're starting to feel in this vibe. And, you know, I think that you're ready for some movement. Jupiter is in retrograde right now, though. So, and it's also in Gemini, which plays with duality, plain and simple. It's the way people show up in different aspects, right? You see them one way, then you're finding out it's completely different. And there's a process, right? There's a process that you need to move through in order to kind of cross that finish line, so to speak. And Spirit's asking you to flip your perspective, be patient. There is value in the patience because you actually have time to have a little more fun, be a little more free, exactly what I was talking about, and not being so regimented. Like, I got to get to this goal or success point by this amount of time or else, you know, it's not moving that way. And I feel you kind of know it, but I feel like there's really this desire to be in your power, especially as you move through this week. Like, we've kind of been in this healing space for quite some time, meaning there hasn't been a lot of forward movement. Things are getting put on the back burner or set aside, or it's like stuff we don't want to be dealing with. Like, we feel like we've learned that lesson over and done with. And a lot of it, yeah, 100%. It's like, it's your own anxiety. It's your own fear. That you're going to be stuck in those things forever. And that's not necessarily the truth. Take this time to explore yourself. Take this time to learn about who you are. Find ways to express yourself. And even if it is like in that verbal communication, etc., I feel like it's a good time to do so. But if you are having a specific conversation with someone, make sure that you're looking at it from all different angles, especially at the beginning of the week. There's a lot of tension to Mercury right now. Like I said, it's about to go into retrograde. So connection or communication and connection for that matter can be amiss, right? Like, people just don't understand each other, especially if there's already tension, already frustration, etc. But you almost feel like you have to say something, or there's a lot of fear on missing out or what is to come. This is the Justice card in the traditional tarot. And here it is about balance, right? So bringing in harmony and balance into your daily living, adjusting the things that need your attention. And again, not specifically from this place of like being on top. There already is that energy coming in for you. And we see this even as we move into midweek. Tension is starting to lessen. Frustration is still there, yes, but we see a little bit more support and livening, especially with the sun in harmonious aspect to Mars. Mars is going to be going retrograde in December, so we have a couple weeks, like a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. It's a really good time to hone this power. And like I was saying, not from that space of forceful aggression. That fire energy is going to make us want to do that. Or if like we start feeling good, then maybe the arrogance can take over. So be conscious and mindful. It's about having balance right now. And what I do like is as the week progresses, you're learning more, you're growing more, you are seeing things in a different way if you're open and receptive to it. That is the key, especially beginning of the week. Try not, like I said, be in this energy of your success, but take a minute before you make decisions, or try to be the observer first, right? What do they say? Like, you learn more by listening, obviously, than by talking. So maybe it's just not responding right away. Maybe it's just being a little bit more quiet. And as you come into middle of the week, this knowledge is helping you feel stronger. It's helping you feel more in your power. It's helping you connect to your intuition a little bit more. I think this power, this strength is very important for you to build for yourself right now, because of a lot of reasons in the astrology, like Pluto moving into Aquarius. It's giving us the opportunity to set the groundwork for the next 20 years or so. And this Six of Swords is Mercury in Aquarius. So overcoming the challenges, even though it's not easy. I feel like someone is bringing in some information. We've been kind of seeing this, like the past rearing its head. This to me feels like this is the past, maybe in a good way. Maybe it is a mother or a maternal figure in your life, or just someone who's really like vibing in that kind of feminine earth energy, which basically just means they nurture, support, love, stability. And I feel like what is being communicated, it is bringing knowledge. It's again, maybe a little bit bittersweet. Maybe it is that thing, like I was just talking about, where you do have to bite your tongue. You have to maintain your power in a smart and wise way. We're seeing the ability to do so, however. The moon is positively aspected to Mercury midweek, which just allows you to keep your emotions in check, i.e. not say something that you normally wouldn't if you don't want to. The sun is also in Mars, right? So whatever information comes in for you, it's enough to make you feel good, right? Like it's enough of an exchange. Even though there is some humbling in the process, there's enough of an exchange to make you feel hopeful, to make you feel like, okay, this is going in a good direction. However, it does mean that, like, I just feel this strong essence of letting go of pride, ego, making sure it's not getting in the way. Because again, you want to remain open to your intuition. And how to do that, like, especially if you are feeling a little like, top dog, I guess, it's just questioning yourself, really, like questioning intention, motivation, maybe even just bringing yourself down to the practical reality. It's very good to feel good about yourself, right? But not to the detriment of others. And I do feel like someone is kind of putting you in your place midweek. It's important that, like I said, you kind of are preparing yourself for this conversation. We've been seeing a lot of people pop up. There is a lot of fire energy here, Son of Earth. There's just like a lot of people who I feel like are trying to vie for control. Yeah, okay. So this is, I mean, there's a lot, and you've been knowing this, but I feel like more is going to come out. It looks like there's some people, like a group of people. I mean, obviously 3 are coming out here. Take it how it resonates, how it fits for you. But it does look like there's a group of people who are having a really hard time, maybe with your empowerment is what I'm seeing. I don't know if these people directly contact you. That's what, okay, maybe you hear from someone. Someone is revealing some messages, and it could be like either the ringleader of this bunch, or just maybe someone who has inside information, maybe about these other 2 people. There is a low vibe energy around this, so really be conscious of who and what you're surrounding yourself with, who and what you're saying things to, because it does look like some people are going to kind of use that against you. Someone who is a little arrogant, maybe, they're like trying to pretend like they're being friends, or like hey, you know, like we're on the same team, same vibe, etc. But there's a lot of gossip, manipulation in the background. It's low vibey energy. It's just someone who has ulterior motives. Someone who, very interesting. This is Venus in Aquarius. Okay, and Venus is really tensely aspected right now. So it's just someone or a group of people who's like pissed off that like you're either doing well for yourself or you're not giving them what they want. It does look like someone is breaking the pact. Someone is bringing in information. Someone does want some reconnection with you. And I think it does bring in a lot of change. And it looks like that duality that I was talking about with Jupiter in Gemini, I feel like that's where you're seeing some positive success. But it does feel difficult. It does feel like it's not an easy conversation or an easy experience to move through. It is making you more hopeful at the end of the week. So here's what I'm hearing is like with your intuition midweek, make sure that you're not just shutting people down because you're upset or there's bad blood or whatever. I feel like if someone wants to come to you, there is this need to hear them out, because you might have this knee-jerk reaction to just say like, no, thank you, or I'm not interested, etc. But it feels like, and probably I said this already, just reiterating, it feels like it's valuable enough because like I said, it's bringing some level of hope, like a level of freedom. And overarching energy, again, is this healing. So there is healing to be had. It feels good. It feels positive. It feels like, yes, much needed change. Where things have maybe been a little desolate for some time, like maybe you feel like you've just either been on the down and out or nothing's working for you. You've put in the hard work is what this is saying, and it's time for change to happen. It is a shifting of the dynamic. It is a shifting of the trajectory. And as much as you see it, as much as you feel this movement happening this week, there is some residual, disappointment over how things have gone. Feeling bummed out, feeling like you wish it were different. Saturn in Pisces. Saturn just went direct. It was in retrograde for a minute. And, in Pisces, it's really forcing us to look at the emotional component of things, the emotional side of like how people, situations make us feel, and then how that's affecting ourselves and our livelihood. But you're moving towards a grounded, stable new beginning, which I really love, especially this week. It feels like that job of healing is being accomplished. And, it also looks like you're naturally doing it, like you're naturally supporting yourself. It's just making sure, like I said, to not get too lost in the arrogance. Communication is a little bit amiss with Mercury in retrograde. Lots of aces, 3 aces showed up. So the value is you are seeing new beginnings, and it's a little clouded. It's a little clouded by what has happened. There still is some stuff being worked out, but use this knowledge in a creative fashion to your advantage. Actually, really like we were talking about, as a means of expression of yourself, whether, however that manifests for you, whatever creativity looks like for you, whether it is something in the arts or, writing, or even being a mechanic or, a tech engineer. There's so many ways to be incredibly creative. And I feel like that's really going to diffuse some of what's still happening, some of what still is being closed out. It's also going to help you connect with your intuition a little bit more, so you yourself can close out that energetic connection between this past situation and really find that healing and find your groove is what I'm hearing. I feel like there's a lot that's going to be opening up. And we see that as we hit the end of the week, like I was saying. The sun and the moon are in Sagittarius as well as, well, Mercury's in retrograde in Sagittarius, but we're getting a lot more support. There's like way more expansion. If you need outside support, if you need outside support, don't be afraid to ask for it. Take a step. Don't stagnate yourself. Don't keep yourself limited right now. It's not the time to do it. Yeah, I wouldn't encourage you to like sign any contracts or don't make any big changes right now because of the retrogrades, but you can like put a toe in the water, you know, you can figure out how something feels and experience it. Yeah, because there's a lot unfolding. There's a lot coming out for you. And I feel like as there's a lot of new beginnings happening and in a way that you're excited about, I feel like you're hopeful for this. That's why you are kind of quote unquote chomping at the bit, really wanting to see this victory, this success come in. And it is. Unfortunately, things on, you know, whatever, physical, in the physical take a longer time than what intuition, what we can sense, what we can feel into. But there is also work that needs to be done in terms of like not being afraid to expand a little bit more, to put yourself out there, to express yourself in ways that bring in new connections, new people, new experiences, new refinement of yourself, because it's going to help you hone that power. And then what maybe seems like nothing's happening, nothing's moving, all of a sudden, end of the week, you get this hope. You're like, okay, maybe this all was worth it. Even though it kind of sucks, like maybe it all was worth it. So thank you so much, Collective. I hope you enjoyed the reading, especially if you made it this far. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Definitely drop comments below if it resonated. I love to hear, or just connect, share, little love, little TLC. I super appreciate all the love and support you bring my way. No, I am sending it back to you.